Reminder, the fan is blowing in the background just in case you can hear it. Alright, so the problem with news dropping during the off-season, especially if you get the early signals in the hours in the morning, is you can't really stay up to follow it because there's not any hockey that you can use as an excuse to stay up and what's going on with them. The news cycle. Obviously, I've got Pioneer League baseball right now, so technically I could use that as an excuse because obviously I am with the Upcoming Ballers, but we actually didn't have a match last night. If you look at our schedule, Mondays technically seems to be a night off for Ballers. Fair days, yeah. So that's it. But yeah, so this was reported late last night. We recorded this on July the 7th, the day of the news officially breaking, but it was being reported late last night. The Boston Fleet are considering moving to a gas arena full time, and today we do now have that news officially confirmed, which I think is really exciting, and I think this is really good for the organisation as a whole. Everybody knew that Sanger Centre was, across all the prior venues in the league, was the one that was most tricky to get to. Agreed? Yeah, agreed. Everybody knew it, okay? Even Doctor and Jones knew it. Yeah, they mentioned it once or a few times. Yeah, everyone knew in the PWHL that Sanger Centre was not easy to get to. It only holds about roughly 6,500 people. It's the smallest arena in the PWHL as a private venue. But what I had to say was really impressive with Southern Boston in the last 3 seasons is how, despite it being so hard to get to, despite it being a small venue, they were still packing that barn out night in, night out. There were sellouts on a regular basis, which was just like crazy. Even that time when, last season, they had a snow blizzard. This was during Four Nations. It was literally the moment where Boston was about to start their portion of the Four Nations last year. Yeah, even during Four Nations, it was against us. They still had a snow blizzard. Yet they still managed to get a good crowd there. Yeah. So even though you've had people say, "Oh well, it's very difficult to get to" and all that, but there's still ways to sell out night in night out. Yeah. And I've always used the situation at Sanger Centre as my primary go-to reason for why I have to defend why I believe the move to CTC is going to work for the Lowell Charge. But you can't now. Oh no, you can't now. You can't now. No. But obviously, that episode will be coming, because obviously we do believe that the move to CTC is going to happen. It just needs to be obviously ratified in the coming weeks. But of course, once we do get that confirmation about the charge going to CTC full time, we will of course come back here and inform you on it. But obviously with this move to Aganis, I've now lost my big reason as to why I have to defend my position on the charge move to CTC. It's a position that I shouldn't have to defend because I know I'm right. Because the alternative is Lansdale 2.0, and we all know that's not doable. So what's the alternative apart from relocating the team? I don't want to see that happen. I said plenty of times, I do not want to see any team in here get relocated. So I'm sorry those of you who don't like the idea of it. It's either that or no team. Anyway, we'll cover that another time. Obviously, we need to wait for that to be made official before we can get on to it. So, I'm now going to read you the press release about the news. And then we'll have some more thoughts on it. Okay, so here we go. Just load it up. There we go. The Boston Fleet announced today that the team is moving to Boston full-time, naming Aganis Arena the primary home venue for the 2026-27 season. We couldn't be more excited to bring the Boston Fleet to Aganis Arena full-time, said Boston Fleet Director of Business Operations Laura Marie Davey The passion for the fleet in the city of Boston has continued to grow since our first game at Agaris, and this move allows us to build on that momentum while creating new opportunities to connect with supporters throughout Greater Boston, the South Shore, and Rhode Island. With deeply... Hold on, Rhode Island's a different state. Yeah, Rhode Island's a different state. They're the entry in the American Song Contest. Okay? Rhode Island's a different state, guys. We're deeply grateful to the Lowell community and our partners at the Saga Centre, whose support has been instrumental to the growth of our organisation. We look forward to carrying that support with us as we begin this new chapter. The Fleet's primary home venue was previously the Saga Centre at UMass Lowell. The team first played at Agaris Arena during the 2024-25 season, so this time last year, drawing sold-out crowds in both regular season appearances. Since March 2025, the Fleet have hosted 6 regular season games at the venue, posting a 3-0-1-2 record and drawing 4 sellout crowds. The strong fan support has highlighted the growing demand for professional women's hockey in the city of Boston and helped establish the Agaris Arena as a premier destination for the PWHL. We are deeply honoured and proud to be the primary home venue of the Boston Fleet for the 26-27 season, said the Agaris Arena Executive Director Chris Brasili. Watching the growth of the PHL and other women's leagues across sports has been nothing short of incredible. The Boston Fleet, the PHL, and most importantly, the fans have been a pleasure to host here at Agaris, and we're very excited to continue to build those relationships as a perfect complement to BU's proud hockey tradition. The Boston Fleet are now accepting deposits for new season ticket holders. For new season ticket memberships, the Fleet are now taking a deposit for the 2026-27 season. Fans, sorry, it's this bloody weather, I'm getting tongue-tied. Fans interested in becoming season ticket members can place a deposit today to secure a priority access. Current season ticket members will receive renewal details soon, and no action is required at this time. And of course, more information and to place your deposit, you just need to visit the Boston Fleet's website. Right, I'm going to bring up more details about Agaris Arena. Okay. Did one of our meetings against Boston go to Agaris? Yes. I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one of the season, but yes, one of our matchups in Boston this past season was in Agaris Arena. I can't remember if it was the one in December or the one in April. It was one of them. Yeah, I can't remember which one. Yeah, so our Frost have already had a taste of Agaris Arena, which might give us an advantage next season. Or not, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Boston was very, very good on home ice this year, whether they were in Songa or Agaris, so we'll see how that goes down. Right, I'm just getting some more details about the arena, and then we'll get. Right, okay. So, the Agaris Arena was it was opened back in 2005. It's actually January the 3rd, 2005. So it's still quite a fairly new building. It's only about, what, 20, 21 years old. Yeah, so it's actually still quite a fairly new building. It has capacity for hockey of 6,150. Oh, yeah. But I think that's seating. So, that a bit smaller than Songa. Was the Songa a bit higher than that? I can't remember the call. I'm about to look up. Songa was 6,500. So it's a little bit smaller, but I don't see it as a problem because the fleet have already proven time and time again that they can sell out. I mean, Boston still are going to be in the smallest venue in the PWHL, but I feel like because it's the Boston fleet, I don't have any worries about getting the crowds in because the fleet have proven, whether they're in Summer Centre or Gallus, they proven that they can bring in the crowds. They can bring in those pullers. They can sell out on a night in, night out basis, which is really, really good. So I felt the fleet of attendance in the last season has been absolutely incredible. You know, to get sellouts on a night in, night out basis. I mean, we see, obviously we see it, the Canadian teams, obviously with Montreal and Ottawa, but yeah, Boston to also be selling out, incredible, man. And of course, obviously this year you've had Seattle really come in and just blow all that out the wall. I know. I am really looking forward to seeing the tournament go to a playoff round because I just think the attendance for that would just be like through the roof, and you probably would see similar numbers that we had post Olympics. Because obviously their first game back to Climate Pledge Radio after Olympics, they didn't just sell every single seat. They also had a standing room only. Yeah, it was like the room was like bursting at the seats. Yeah, so I can't wait to see what's going on for the tournament that goes for playoffs because those putters will just come in more. You're gonna struggle to get to meet the demand. Just saying. Yeah. So what do you two make of this? Well, I'm kind of a bit surprised to hear that we've got another team with three of us. I was only thinking it was going to be alright, but of course obviously need to wait for that to be ratified. And of course, as soon as it's announced, I know, we're all itching to talk about the move to CTC because we all pretty much know it's going to happen, but we can't really talk about it until it's officially confirmed. As you guys know, on this show, I never, ever want to talk gossip. I never want to talk gossip. I never want to talk about things in the playground. I always want to give you the cold, hard, concrete facts. So, we're itching to do that. But when we do get it confirmed, we will come back to this straight away. Absolutely. But for now, Boston. It was a move that I did not see coming, because I felt the relationship Boston had with their arenas was actually fine. I mean, it was a bit surprising that they chose to play 4 of their home games in Boston, that were going to be in Boston at Gallus. But clearly it was a move well done, and obviously TD Garden worked well too. That actually this might help them get another stint in TD Garden. Do you think so? Yeah. I think with Boston you could see what both TO and Montreal managed to do, and that is you have your private venue, but you also manage to sneak in a game at the big boys arena. Yeah. And I think that can now be more doable. And it's going to really help, because a lot of people didn't see Lowell as Boston. They saw it as, Lowell. Still in the same state. Yeah, they were still in the state of Massachusetts, but a lot of people didn't see what... got Boston Fleet playing Lowell? Well, a bit like how we got New York Stars playing New Jersey. Well, that's a different kettle of fish. Yeah. So, I think the fact you've now got... you go to a arena that's actually in Boston... that is going to really help people who didn't really feel they could get to Summer Centre, get to it. Yeah, because you got to ask yourselves, how many potential Boston Fleet fans were residing in actual Boston and thought, I'd love to get down there, but it's quite hard to get to Song Center. Yeah. This now makes it easier for those bands to come in. I think it's gonna be really. I think it's a good move, you know, because we need to make sure that anybody and everybody can get to these venues. Okay, so the fact that the league have recognised this is a situation that we need to deal with. I don't think it was that hard to pick in order, because I feel like with Boston, was there really an issue bigger than the Sirens or even the Charge? Not really, but the Sirens seem to have worked that out. The people who want to get the Sirens out of New Jersey need to go, seriously, fuck yourselves, because it's not happening. It's not happening. I believe the PWHL is absolutely fine with the Sirens playing out of actual New York State. I believe they're fine with it, because, let's face it, actual New York, the state itself, had its chance in year one and just was a great big disaster. I really did your stunt. I'll do it. That's what we thought about New York in year one. Their attendance. Yep. Massive. I was so tempted, but I thought, no, I won't do it. Because you're a lady. Exactly. She's a lady. She will not stoop to that immaturity about her husband. No, because she's a lady. She's a lady by name, lady by nature. She's a lady. She won't stoop to those levels. No. I was thinking a bit, but I thought, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'll let him do it. Yeah. But no, so New York, you had your chance in year one, and the numbers were dreadful. It's still... whenever I even think about those numbers that the Stars had in year one, it still makes my blood boil. Because we were all in the same boat in season one. We were all in the same boat. And everyone else did fine. Everyone else did fine. Okay, we were all in the same boat in that first season. And everyone else did fine. I mean, Tio had to even move venues for the playoffs. They had to move venues for it because Tio were playing a 2,000 seater arena. And it was clearly obvious that Tio were getting more than 2,000 bands on a 99-hour basis. So there you go. So seriously, York, what gives? What gives? Yes, the numbers in New Jersey still aren't as good as we'd like them to be, but they're a lot more decent than what they were in season one in actual New York City. So, oh god, I got so close to having a hissy fit with the Rangers bands after the MS3 game, because they were like, "Why we moved them here?" And I'm like, "No." Oh, that would never happen. No, that would never happen in a million years. No, I was like, no. But I thought, no, I'm not going there. I know what they're trying to do. You want to quote Dave Bond, you want to provoke me? I'm provoked. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Plus, it was Easter weekend. Easter's one of my 2 holidays apart from Thanksgiving. Come back to me on Tuesday. Yeah. If there's any frauds going on during Easter, Thanksgiving, it's pretty much always like, come back to me when it's over. So for Easter, that's the Monday. And then, no, Tuesday. Thanksgiving's Monday. Oh, sorry. So for Thanksgiving, that's the Monday. Yep. And then for Easter, it's the Tuesday. Yep. Yep. Easter, Thanksgiving are my 2 holidays. Please let me have them. Please let me have them. Don't try and get some frauds me on those 2 holidays because I don't want to engage in it. I was like, oh my god, for goodness sake, no, stop it, stop it! No, we're not having this discussion. The Sirens have been in New Jersey for 2 full seasons now, guys. They're pretty much settled there, so get off your... So basically, get off your lazy backside, take a subway down to New Jersey and watch the Sirens games, help the numbers go up. But back to the point you're trying to say, George, is how this hasn't really been an issue, but at the same time, it sort of was an issue. It wasn't really brought to the forefront of the table, unlike the Sirens in season 1. Exactly, unlike how we have the Charge in season 3. Yeah, it was maybe there in the background, but it wasn't so big it needed to actually be brought to the table and dealt with. Yeah. But going on for the fleet, for recognising actually we are actually, missing out on a very cool chunk of our potential revenue, our potential market, potential fan base. We need to actually be in the heart of the actual actual city of Massachusetts. Agreed. Yeah. So there you go. So I applaud the Fleet for recognising that. Plus, going into season 4, there's going to be a lot of hype taken on Boston. I know. Because let's say nobody saw, not even us three, nobody saw Boston having that turnaround this year. No one saw it coming. No one saw it coming. Especially how Chris Barr, before this season, had no prior experience. Either A, coaching women's hockey, or B, being a head coach full stop. Okay? And I really do feel for Francois Maffard, who's going to be Boston's new coach next season. I really do feel for him, because he's going to have so much pressure on his shoulders, because the target's going to be on Boston's back from the get-go. Because everyone's going to be looking at, that's the team that really should be the big World Cup contenders for 2027, alongside Vancouver. Okay? So everyone's going to look at Boston and think, that is the team that we want to beat this year, because we see them as our main challenger to ultimately get into the World Cup in 2027. So I really do feel for him, and I really hope that Boston isn't going to go backwards, because they have lost badly in expansion. A lot of defense, they lost a lot of their blue line, as well as Chris Barr going over to Hamilton as well. He jumped the ship! Yeah. So I do worry that Boston might end up going like 2 steps backward rather than 1 step forward. So we'll see. So those first 5 to 6 weeks of the season next year is going to be so critical for Boston, because this could judge whether or not you're going to still be a contender or not. So I really do feel for them. Obviously, still got Frankel, Keller, and Wynn on there, and also Newark, who well, but Antipani. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a question of how well can your draft picks you made in this year's draft in Detroit, how well can they sort of slot in? Can they do what Wynn and Newark did last year and just literally make an impact from day one? We'll see. But I think this is a really good move. I applaud it. And in a way, I kind of will miss Song of Center in a way, because it wasn't that bad of the arena. It's just, the problem was you were outside of actually in Boston, and it was making it hard for people to get to. That's the problem I had. And also the boards between the amount of gap between those boards between the nets was like, oh my god, yeah. Seriously, yeah, that was like, wow, that's what we've never even seen before. Yeah, but it's not more narrow in a Gallus, it's more, yeah, so they'll lose that advantage, yeah, so, in a way, I kind of will miss Song Center. I mean, it gave us some really good, memories. As you guys know, Art Frost's first ever game was in Song Center. Because it's kind of crazy to look back on that long season and think how our first game of the season was in Boston and our last game of the season was in Boston. Yeah, but I remember at the time you were kind of saying, well, you know what, maybe it's fate. Well, you're like, maybe it's fate. Maybe that's how it's meant to be. But at the time I was trying to, really build myself up because of what happened in Game 4. I had to get that anger out and then really focus on trying to put myself in the right state mentally going into what's going to be a really critical Game 5. Yeah. Alright, but yeah. Because obviously, in the inaugural season, we started that on the road. The last 2 seasons, we started at home and raised our banner. Yeah. But in the inaugural season, we did actually start on the road, and our first ever game was in Summer Center in Boston. Of course, we also had the 2024 World Cup Finals take place in Boston. So the World Cup was handed out at Soccer Centre for the first time ever in league history. And of course, Soccer Centre is the only site that has been witness of a sweep in the playoffs. Next, obviously, Boston swept Montreal in that semi-final round to get to the finals in 2024. And there's been no other sweep in the league since then. Now, although Montreal did come close this year against Ottawa, but again, PWHL says a thank you Ottawa Charge for not letting it be a sweep, because we all know what would happen then. Yeah. Stars they would not got its moment in the sun. Yeah. So, all's well that ends well there. But yeah. So anyway, I'm kind of gonna miss the Song Centre, but I do get why Boston have made the move. They've gone for it now. it makes a lot of sense. This league is only going to just keep growing, and you really need to make sure that you are making the most of your of the market you're in. You need to really, as I said, you need to tap into that, you know, to the masses that you haven't been able to reach yet. You've got to really find ways to get them on board. So I'm really excited for what's to come. I'm really excited that, you know, we've now got this sorted. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. Yeah. Because I think probably eventually there would have had to be a conversation about, right, what do we do in Boston? But I think it's largely the fact that obviously Soccer Centre was selling out on a regular basis. It wasn't that big of a deal at the time. But obviously now, there's no getting away from it. You kind of really have to basically go, okay, Soccer Centre was great to start out with, but if we're thinking about for the long term and Boston's long-term future, it needs to be an arena that's actually more closer to where the majority of the Massachusetts residents live, and that actually is in the city of Boston. So I'm really excited. So I'm really pleased for the fleet to have got this sorted out. It's interesting how they've solved a problem that wasn't really a problem. Yeah, but that's good. That's good. Rather let the problem fester. Yep. Yeah, so I just think it's really good. It's really exciting. Because obviously you've got the NCAA tents in there as well, so that's not too much an issue. Yeah, we'll just work around them. Yeah, we'll be fine. Yeah. So I don't see scheduling being a problem there at all. Yeah. That should be fine. Obviously, Boston still are going to be the smallest venue in the league, but as George's been saying, the fact that they've managed to sell out night in, night out, that can justify going there. Yeah, that's probably the kind of arena that a PWHL Denver team probably will have to go to, because I did do my research for Denver, not long after we got back from our trip, and I did look up there are a few other arenas in Denver who have got circus capacities to Aganis and to Songa, which I think would work fine. So if Boston's managed to do well with an arena like that, then I can't see a reason why a Denver team can't work like that. But I think the league would prefer it to be ball arena, but that's probably not really going to be. No. So I just think, anyway. That's very exciting. So the question is, obviously, how many games will we have in the league's season next year, which will determine how many potential home games you will have at a guys if you are a Boston Fleet fan. Will they get another go at TD Garden? How many Takeover Tour games will they get next year? How many of those will be home games? I imagine each team will probably have at least 2 home games as Takeover Tour games, because that's how it was this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again. Obviously, you know, when we get the details, obviously we can report back to you on that. Yeah. Should I look it up before we go? When we, try, yeah, because it's gonna bug me. Because you're right, boy. We did play Aganis during the season, but I can't remember which one it was. So you know what? Let's just look it up. Let's just look it up. Okay. In fact, you know what? Let's use the Fleet's schedule. So this is the Boston Fleet we're talking about. Okay. Spare me 2 seconds while I just get that up. That's if I can still get it up. That. Let me load up our episode plans, because obviously we're in off season now, so the schedule will not be up on that on the league side. So let me load up our episode plans from this past season, and that might be able to tell me when and where we was. Okay, so let me just do that now. So go to episode 1. Season 3. And our first meeting was in December, so that would be episode 3. Because in fact, we were the first team to hand Boston a loss in the season. So, right. This might be a bit tricky. Bear with. Right. Okay. Right. There we go. Okay, it was the meeting in December, my boy. Right, it was the meeting in December that was at a guy's arena, and then the meeting in April was at Songa Centre. So we in Minnesota have already had our first taste of Boston's new primary venue. We did go down there in December. So just in the beginning of the season. This year gone. Yeah. So, any more final thoughts you want to add on what is a really exciting bit of news there? We're expected. I know, right? Because obviously we're now sadly in the midst of a very long and painful off season. Of course, during the off season we don't really get that much news. The summer months, so July and August, are kind of normally seen as off season, so it's really quiet in terms of the news cycle. And then it's kind of sort of end of September, beginning of October. That's when the news cycle starts to then build up again. So yeah, so I think any news we get in the summer is kind of like it's the shock, but good. Really good. But apart from being unexpected, okay. Apart from that, I think it's a really good move for the Boston fleet, and I think they're going to really thrive under it. So I'm really forward to see how they're going to cope being a guy for full time. It's going to be exciting. Yeah. It's a great move. I just people have said it's going to make it so much easier to tap into that market you have not to get to yet. I think it's going to be really good. Okay. So yeah, so there you go. So that was unexpected. Literally how quick that was, because obviously I heard about this as a rumor late last night, and then literally wake up to today and it's already confirmed. Nope, it's gonna happen. So that's good. That is good. That's good. Obviously, we are expecting soon to get the news about Ottawa, and we do have that news. Of course, we'll come back on here and talk about it. But of course, as I said, I've now lost my big reason to defend my case for Ottawa to CTC. But I shouldn't have to defend that case, because I'm right. I'm right. Sorry, Charge fans, but the option is either CTC or you have no team. So ponder on that over your long hot summers. Ponder on that. And we'll come back to that when we cross the bridge, okay? But for the Boston Fleet, is exciting news. So they are officially moved at Gas Arena full time, starting the 2026-27 season. We're looking forward to another visit there. Hope you got our first one there during this upcoming season. But until next time, thank you so much as always. Until then, take care, guys.